One of the important features of TestRail is the ability to customize your test cases. We provide many customization options to allow you to create various test case templates and configure your custom fields on a per project and per template basis. Let's take a look at some of the options that are available inside of TestRail and take a deep look into how to configure your custom fields. TestRail administrators have the ability to customize your test case fields, result fields, test case templates, and other entities inside of TestRail. The Case Fields tab, available on the Customizations area, provides the option to create new test case fields. These fields will appear when creating and editing your test cases. Result fields are available when adding your test results inside of your test runs. Test case templates are used to hold sets of your test case fields. So the template field inside your test case, as you change the template, the fields which are selected for that template will appear based on the configuration in this area. Test case types are the options that will appear in the type field of your test cases. So you can add as many fields as you want and delete existing fields if you do not perform certain test types inside of TestRail. Similarly, the priorities area is used to define your test case priorities. Statuses are used for your test results. So by default, TestRail includes a pass status, blocked, untested, retest, and failed. You can also add and customize up to 7 additional status types for a total of 12. The UI scripts are used to customize the TestRail interface, which UI scripts are out of the scope of this presentation. If you'd like to learn more about UI scripts, then we do have documentation on the TestRail documentation area. The Case Fields area has all of the case fields which are customizable inside of TestRail. The fields such as case type, template, and priority will not appear here as a customizable field. However, other fields are available for customization options. The estimate, milestone, and references fields are fields which cannot be deleted but are still customizable, so you can enable and disable these on a per project basis. Any other field which exists in TestRail by default can be deleted or edited as necessary. There's also a fine dividing line in a couple of areas here. So any field which is considered a required system field cannot be reorganized or moved around. The Case Fields area also has up and down arrows for various field types. This allows you to change the order of the fields as they appear in your test cases. Your test cases have 2 distinct sections to them. The top section contains all of the small fields, such as drop-down menus, strings, integers, and other field types. The bottom section contains all of the larger fields, such as larger text input boxes, your steps fields, and separated steps. Within each major section, you can move different field types up and down to change the order as they appear. However, you cannot move a large text field into the very top of the test case. Any large fields will always be in the bottom portion. The Add Field button allows you to create a new test case field, which will appear inside of your test cases. Each field is required to have a label, which will appear inside the UI. So we will just apply a version label to this. The description text is text which will appear below the field, providing additional context for this field if you'd like to enter it. The system name is also required for this. The system name is generally used inside the TestRail API and will also be added to the TestRail database. The system name for the test case field is the name which gets added to the TestRail database and which is also used by the TestRail API. All system names for custom fields will be prefixed by the word custom and an underscore. You do not need to add this to your custom field name. this will be added automatically. So here we will just add the version system name. Each custom field has a variety of options. So you can choose a checkbox field, which is a single checkbox for a Boolean value, yes or no, on or off, however you would like to interpret it. We have a date field, which supports standard dates. We have a drop-down field, which can be a drop-down menu, which allows you to define different options to be available. We have an integer field, which provides you with the option to just enter whole numbers. The milestone field. This milestone field will be based off the milestones which are inside of your TestRail project. You do not define the milestones in the custom field settings, but instead these are automatically populated based on what you have already got set up in your project. And this field will change dynamically as you add and update your milestones inside TestRail. The multi-select field allows you to choose multiple options. So you can define multiple different options to be available and then select more than one of these options. The steps field is used for separated test steps. Your TestRail instance can only have one separated steps field. So if you already have a separated steps field defined, you will not be able to use this field type. However, if you do delete the separated steps field and would like to recreate it, you can choose this option. String field is a standard string, so up to 250 characters. A text field is a text input box. The URL link, which is a hypertext link to any external resource that you would like to use. And the user field. Similar to the milestone field, the user field is pre-populated based on your available TestRail users. So there's no customization to the options inside this field, as the values will automatically be based on the users that are available inside your instance. We will choose to use a drop-down field for this demonstration, since the drop-down field will allow us to provide some customization options so we can also see what options are available for various field types. You also have the option to apply this field to all test case templates. So if I add this field to all test case templates, then this field will be available on the exploratory test case template, the test case template with separated steps, and the test case template with a single text field. You can also choose to use this field only in specific templates. So if I just want to apply this to an exploratory session template, I can do that here. Finally, you need to add your TestRail projects which you would like this field to be available in. You can choose to apply this to every project or only specific projects. So this not only allows you to create a field which is used in a specific template, but also in a specific template that applies only to specific projects, providing with great flexibility in the number of fields that you can have inside of your test case templates without overwhelming your users with fields which do not matter. So let's just select sample project here. If I had multiple projects, I could choose multiple projects to apply for this test case field. Looking at the options, so here for the items available inside the drop-down menu, we have some default text here just to show you the example of how to input your data. So you would enter an ID number, comma, followed by the value. So here we have version as a drop-down. So we will just say version 1.0. The next line, we will do version 1.1, version 2.0. And you can add as many values as you'd like. We can also choose to have a default value and whether or not we would like this field to be required every time a user creates or edits the test case. Pressing OK here provides us with a configuration list here. If we had multiple projects and this only applied to one of the projects, I would have the option to add another configuration for a different project, allowing me to even set different values for the same custom field inside of different projects. Which once again, this prevents the need to create multiple test case custom fields for this version type when I can customize all the versions available for different projects. So if I add this field, it will be added to TestRail. So this now appears as the version field, and this is grouped together with the automation type section because this is a drop-down field. So I can move this up and down within this section because this will appear in the top portion of my test case. So let's go take a look at how this test case field appears inside the UI. Let's go back to my sample project and my test cases. Let's edit, say, this test case here, and edit. So here I now have a version field which is marked as required, and I can choose an option. This field does have a default value, but since this test case was pre-existing, we did not apply a default value to this test case already. So now I must select a version, and I can save my test case. If I look and change my template, I can see that the field is no longer present because it is not required for this test case template. Similarly, the test case text template does not have the field.